It's the end of the year, and we know that Iceflake Studios is now taking over City Skylines 2 development, so I thought it might be fun to list the top 10 things that I'm hoping to see them improve for the game in 2026. Now, I think it goes without saying, I'm hoping for bug fixes, performance improvements, and console support, so I won't be saying any general stuff like that. I'm going to be listing tangible improvements that I think would be low-hanging fruit for them to improve the experience of playing City Skylines 2. And I'm hoping this video sparks a bit of conversation, so let me know in the comments below what you think of my list and what you'd change. And without further ado, let's jump right in. Number 10, visual improvements. I'm going to start with an absolutely massive bucket of visual improvements, but when it comes down to it, they're all kind of related. Starting with textures. Ground textures just have to be better, and we need more options. At some angles, the game can feel so flat that you can actually miss a hill entirely. They seem to be a significant downgrade from City Skylines 1, at least in my view, and the fact that we only have one default ground texture rather than the promised biomes has always been a real miss that I'd like to see rectified. We also need more and better surfaces. The ones that come with the game are a nice start, but the surfaces on the workshop really elevate the look of the game. Incorporating some of them into vanilla would be a huge step in the right direction. And on a related note, add the area bucket as a vanilla tool. It's a huge quality of life improvement. Shadow flickering. We need a real fix for shadow flickering that doesn't rely on DLSS. Even with a high-end graphics card, I'm forced to keep DLSS on just to stop the flickering. But then I have to deal with motion trails and car wheels that look like a locomotive. This has been a real problem going all the way back to CS1, but it does seem, at least in my view, to be much worse in City Skylines 2. Time, weather, and season controls. I'm still floored that we can't adjust the season, weather, or time of day in City Skylines 2. It's not fun to build in the winter for most people, and placing landscaping outside of summer can be a real chore. Let us toggle the visuals, even if the underlying simulation has something different happening in the background. Perhaps allow us to retain photo mode settings generally if we prefer that look. Rhyme and realism. Everything currently looks a bit too much like Disney World in City Skylines 2. I want to build cities that feel dirty, roads that look used, and I shouldn't have to become an expert decal plopper just to do it. I'd love to see some of these decals procedurally generate and show up in areas where you'd expect them, like industrial districts. Animations and life. We need the city to actually react to the world. I want to see police and firefighters actually getting out of their vehicles to handle calls, visible damage from weather events, and honestly, fewer dogs. A historical toggle. Bring back the historical toggle from City Skylines 1 so that we can preserve the look of a building if we want. It's a huge quality of life thing. And finally, improve seasons. Show the dead tree models in the winter so that it looks like the leaves have fallen off the trees. Add a true spring rather than showing fall again. And honestly, while we're talking about trees, perhaps don't have the trees die at all. It's really frustrating to watch a mature neighborhood have all the trees die at once and have them eventually spawn into baby trees. Number 9, UI improvements. With the addition of the region packs, it's getting really difficult to sort through all the zoning categories, service buildings, and other assets. Part of this comes down to filtering, which really has to be improved. For instance, being unable to narrow down to just vanilla assets when you have region packs installed is really frustrating and honestly pretty inexcusable. I think it'd be really great to have the ability to favorite zoning categories or buildings and have them appear at the top of your lists, or hide things that you don't use. And some options really should be universal, like a universal contour line toggle or a universal height control, rather than having them reset for every road category. And finally, I love to see them give users more control over certain visual aspects of the UI, like zoning cell opacity or even the zoning cell color, since the default options aren't great for those with color blindness. Number 8, better traffic controls. I don't think that this is a hot take. The traffic mod should wholesale be incorporated into the game. Even Transport Fever 3 looks to be doing it. A lane connector tool and the ability to toggle a stop and yield sign must be in the base game, and it's kind of flooring that it wasn't there from day one. I'd also love to see the ability to have a more fine-grained control over signal timing, but I understand that might be a bridge too far for City Skylines. And finally, street naming is a hot mess, and I really think this kind of fits in the same bucket. We had the feature in City Skylines 1, so bring it back to City Skylines 2. Street naming really makes the city feel like it's your own, and not having that level of control is incredibly frustrating. Number 7, better parks. I've always really disliked that parks have to be placed on a roadside. Let us place them freely, even if that means compromises need to be made, like removing utility requirements for parks. I'd also love to see fewer forced fences and the ability to chain different park assets together to create a cohesive green space similar to how we could in City Skylines 1. And for the love of God, please remove homeless encampments unless there's a direct way to resolve homelessness, like policies or a shelter. As it stands, it's just a frustration that is difficult, if not impossible, to resolve. Number 6, better info views. Many of the info views seem half-baked and should be improved to provide more tangible, actionable information. For instance, traffic flow and volume seem to be meaningless. The percentage seems to be pegged and the volume seems to perfectly follow roadway capacity. It also means that some of the fun of City Skylines 1, like attempting to reach a certain traffic flow percentage, just isn't possible in City Skylines 2. Selfishly, it also means that YouTubers like me and Biffa have fewer challenges to create, which is a real bummer. It can also be incredibly frustrating that info views don't retain your settings. For instance, if you're adjusting a number of bus routes all at once, you're constantly forced to return to the route menu rather than the previous screen, making adjusting multiple routes en masse a real chore. And now we've got to talk about city statistics. And I said I wasn't going to list bug fixes, but the business trade menu is broken. It's always been broken to some degree, and it makes me not trust anything else that I find in statistics. That said, I guess it's less broken than it used to be, so that's a win. Number 5, specialized industry improvements. I really feel like specialized industry should feel more like the industry's DLC from the first game, but modernized for City Skylines 2. Sub-buildings should unlock after hitting targets, and we should be able to place them within a radius of the main building. I'd also like to see more meaningful feedback about why an industry is doing well or why it's failing. Honestly, this could really be a minigame in and of itself, and all the pieces are already there, they just need to be utilized. Number 4, copy, paste, and undo functionality. I'd love to see an eyedropper tool added to the base game similar to what we see in Anno 117, along with the standard undo and redo functionality. It'd make the whole process of building so much faster and easier. It'd also really help when making maps in the editor. You have no idea how many times I've inadvertently terraformed or landscaped an area, causing hours of unnecessary work as a result. For that alone, I would like to see it. Number 3, improved industrial zones. Now let's call a spade a spade. Industrial zoning sucks in City Skylines 2. But it doesn't have to. The assets for industrial are already great, but they're all mixed together, so let us control it more. Being able to zone warehousing, manufacturing, or clean light industrial would be huge. And controlling the specific use category would make all the production information from the economy screen much more actionable. And on that note, let us control what's coming in at cargo terminals too. If you think about it, since the Bridges and Ports DLC, it's kind of strange that we can now see shortages at our ports, but we can't request more goods of a specific category or decline imports or exports of specific goods. We have no control, we can just see what's happening. I want to be able to do something with that information. Number 2, add a light version of Move It and Anarchy to the base game. Now I'm combining these two because they're so related you kind of have to. The reason why I want these in the game is City Skylines 2 demands precision from you, but it really doesn't give you the ability to do things very precisely. And I think that sometimes playing this game can feel like trying to finger paint with mittens on. While the relocate function has a bit of Move It DNA for ploppable buildings, you can't relocate nodes, which means that we lack control over networks, and I really think that we need it. I'd love the ability to toggle anarchy so that we can have slight overlaps for surfaces, trees, and props. And on the note of trees, I really hate that the collision radius is so large. Honestly, I think it should be removed altogether, just like in City Skylines 1. And the number 1 improvement that I'd like to see, zoning controls. Zoning remains one of the most frustrating parts of City Skylines 2. I actually know people who've rage quit the game entirely because the zoning mechanics can be so temperamental. Now, while I'd love to see a platter-style ploppable zoning make its way into the game, even just the ability to toggle zoning on and off on specific roads would be a massive addition, and honestly, a return to what we had in City Skylines 1. But wait, there's more. I thought of one more. Dynamic building leveling. I really hate that buildings only level in one direction. It means that neighborhoods never decline and nothing ever goes wrong. It also means that you miss out on seeing some of the great level 1 and 3 assets, since neighborhoods tend to reach level 5 all at once. And this seems really easy to implement. For instance, if crime increases in an area, have the building levels decrease. If garbage accumulates, have the building levels decrease. This also ties into your city looking like Disney World. I really like to see the where because it's a visual indication of issues in a neighborhood. So with that, you have my wish list for things I'd like to see implemented in City Skylines 2 in 2026. And it's the last video that I'm recording in 2025. Now, I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break, but I thought that this would be a fun one to end the year on. So what'd you think of my list? What did I miss? What would you have added? How was my order? Let me know in the comments below. And let me know if you think my list is realistic. Perhaps we'll revisit this at the end of the year to see just how many of these issues have been addressed. Thanks so much for joining me today for this video and all the other videos you joined me for in 2025. There's a million things that you could have been doing, but week after week, you decided to hang out with me, and for that, I appreciate you, and I appreciate your time. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.